Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. Today, we're going to take the mystery out of the Browning leverage. Yeah, this is the same one that I recently put the Picatinny rails on in the bipods, so we'll show you how well those perform. Anyway, before we get started here, do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down there below. If you'd like to be notified every time we come out with a new video, just hit that little bell right there. And in addition to that, we appreciate any type of feedback. We really like the thumbs up, so if you throw us a thumbs up, that would be great. In addition to that, came out with a new website. You see that little symbol that looks like a lowercase I or an upside down exclamation mark? You can click on that anytime you go to my website. My website, we sell the little bipod kits, some t-shirts, we sell some Gammo screws, some things like that. But check it out, it's entertaining. Plus I write some articles on there regarding air guns, how to maintain them, things like that. And I'm trying to come out with more articles the more I can, time that I get. Anyway, let's talk about the Browning leverage here. All right, this is put out by Umarex. It's pretty much a Chinese-made gun. Called the Browning leverage. It comes basically as you see it. The only thing I did to this gun is it comes in a right-handed stock, which means
On the left-hand side,
it has a raised cheek area. What I did is I took the
left-hand side
here, which would normally be raised, and I actually sanded it down and smoothed it down because it didn't do me any good because I'm a left-hander. So anyway, but you could technically, they say it's a right-handed stock, but if you're a left-hander, you can shoot this gun just fine. And why I sand that down and then I refinish the stock. But other than that, the gun is stock. It even comes with this scope. This is it's got a Browning little symbol on there, but it's 3x9x40 with an adjustable objective, and it's actually a pretty clear scope. It's not bad for a stock scope, considering. Works pretty good. Also comes with the fiber optic sights. It's got the green in the back and the red in the front. If you like to shoot open sights, that's great. They call it the leverage because this is an underlevel. It cocks by pulling this bottom lever down. Anyway, it's only, I'm telling you, it's under a 30-pound cocking effort. I think it's right around 27, 28 pounds to cock this gun. Umarex, or Browning, Umarex, is claiming the gun gets about 800 feet per second. Again, this is a spring piston, not a gas piston on this one. It comes stock with a little Picatinny rail for the scope mount. And in addition to that, this thing weighs about 8.6 pounds. It comes with also a little rubber butt plate. It's a little hard, but there's not much recoil on this gun. The trigger on these, non-adjustable. There's not much you can do. I took it apart and kind of looked at the spring area and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. And I'm getting under 3 pounds, but I'll show you when we trigger test it. They're claiming it's about a 5-pound trigger. And I'm sure it just depends on how much you use the gun, more you break it in, things like that. The model looks a little familiar. Cisco makes the same model. They're XS46U. It's pretty much an identical model. But anyway, Browning has their name on it, comes with the scope. And these things retail for around $160, so they're actually pretty reasonable. And good looking gun, pretty smooth shooter for the most part, but we're going to show you that. So let's go out and test it as we usually do, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's see how well our Browning leverage does over the Chrony. I'm just going to shoot some 14.0 grain Meisterkugelns, and that's probably your average, maybe even on a little bit lighter side of the lead pellets, because I know we get them all the way down to under 12. So let's do 5 shots over the Chrony, and let's see how well this does. All right, shot number 1. 741. Shot number 2. Notice I always keep my hand on this cocking arm just for safety reasons. Even though there's a catch for this and a release, I just don't always trust it. So anyway, shot number 2. 745. Shot number 3. By the way, these guns are really easy to cock. There's just hardly any effort to it at all. That's shot number 3. And number 4. I mean, seriously, I would guess this is under 30 pounds of a cocking effort. All right, shot number 4. 730. Let's do one more. And final shot number 5. It's actually a pretty good average and a pretty good standard deviation. You can see what the average is and what your average foot-pounds are. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, so let's test the accuracy of our Browning leverage. We're our usual 20 yards back. Take a look here, real quick. Okay, I found the 3 best pellets to work in this gun, and they actually were really, really close. We have the RWS Meisterkugeln, which on paper they punch a little bit better hole, so I'm going to kind of go with those this time. They're 14.0 grain. But what also performed quite well was the Field Target Trophies, the 14.66. Those worked really, really well. And in addition to that, we had our JSB Exacts, the 14.35. So all 3 of those pellets performed really well in this rifle. But as I said, we're gonna go ahead and use the RWS Meisterkugelns because I like the holes they put in the paper because they're the wad cutter. And let's see how well we do. So let's just take 5 shots and go from there. That's right. Notice I like to keep my hand on this lever, even though it's got a locking mechanism. All right. That's 2. As always, we're going for grouping. And 3. And last but not least, number 5. There you go. A little windy today. I got that cross breeze coming out across the end of the house, so it might have affected us just a little bit. But overall, not a bad grouping. So let's move on to the next segment. Let's test our Browning leverage trigger and see how well it does. There's really no adjustment on this trigger. I mean, I got in there and kind of tweaked with the spring just a little bit, but it really didn't make much difference at all. So there's no adjustment, so pretty much what you see is what you get. So let's give this a shot, literally, and see what type of pull weight we have. All right. £2, 10.4 ounces. Not bad. Yeah, it's actually pretty surprising how smooth that trigger is, especially for not being an adjustable type trigger. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. Okay, we got a Browning leverage, and we're going to see how well it does at 40 yards. Now we're at a usual 40-yard distance. I love the plinking section, as you guys know. Anyway, just to show you the distance and what we're shooting at, you can see the little orange or the little red pig to the right there. A couple little eggs, even a little shotgun shell on the far left, and we got another Christmas bulb. So anyway, we're going to shoot the JSB on the Exact Jumbo Express Diablo, and they're a 14.35 grain pellet. They seem to do pretty good at 40 yards. So let's see if we can eliminate these little targets. Gotta love the cocking effort on this thing. I'm telling you, it feels like it's under 30 pounds. Let's see here. All right. Start with the pig at the right. Ooh, that was a spin. Spun that pretty good. All right. our second one. Oh yeah. As you can see, even from 40 yards, this thing's pretty doggone accurate. Let's get rid of the shotgun shell. Okay. And the blue bulb. Whoa! Must have hit a little low on that one. Anyway, that's what you can see at our plinking. That's at our 40 yards. So Browning leverage, not too shabby. Let's move on and wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up. Our little conclusion here. As you saw, the Browning leverage performed quite well, if you think about it. Let's talk about a couple things. Just a reminder: Picatinny rails, bipods. I put those on there. In fact, my bipod installation video, this is the gun that I used. Actually really helps tighten up the groups. If you're interested in those, go to my website, check them out. Other than that, this is actually a pretty well-performing gun, as we just discussed. Let's talk about the negatives. The negatives. The trigger's non-adjustable. You can't adjust the trigger. So how it comes out of the box is pretty much the way it is. Although you can smooth it out a bit. I actually took it apart and smoothed it out just a little bit. And I think as a result it lightened up just a little bit, but I think in time it's not a bad trigger. Another negative, I don't like the way this safety is. So in other words, it automatically engages the safety. So when you take the safety off, you have to pull it back towards the trigger. So there could be a possibility that you pulled the trigger. Unlikely, but it's just something to keep in mind, that the safety comes back towards the trigger. I don't like that. What else I don't like is, it's just kind of my pet peeve with spring pistons, is when you hear the doinking sound. This has a little bit of that doinking sound with the spring. But other than that, not bad. So let's talk about the positives. Positives. This gun retails for around 160 bucks, and it comes with a decent scope. Seriously, this scope, you can actually use it with the gun. It's clear, right out to 40 yards. It's crystal clear. So that's a positive. So you don't have to worry about even buying another scope. I've seen the gun on sale a lot of times. I'll be honest with you, I think I paid right around 130 bucks for this at one point. I looked for a sale. What else is positive? Solid wood stock. You get a solid, heavy wood stock. Like, this gun weighs almost 9 pounds. So it feels solid in your hands. What else is tremendous? Very, very light cocking effort. There's just nothing to this thing to cock this. You could shoot this all day long. What else is nice? Comes with a Picatinny rail for your scope, which is pretty cool. It's also accurate, as you saw. I mean, we were shooting under half-inch groups at 20 yards. I think it was 0.47 inches, 0.47 of an inch. So you can't beat that anytime you're shooting under half inches. And then all the way out at 40 yards, we were hitting some pretty small objects, including the shotgun shell. So, and you can't believe the amount of pellets, seriously, and here's another example, that I go through to find the right pellet for these guns. And as you saw, there was 3 pellets that actually performed pretty well in this. Anyway, overall, the gun's also very, very quiet, and it's really good, or I should say backyard friendly, that would be the proper term for that. So I like the gun a lot, and if you want an inexpensive gun that comes with a decent scope, you know, this is going to be hard to beat. So I would rate this thing 4 stars, 4 solid stars. Even though it's Chinese made, even though the trigger's not adjustable, I still would give it 4 stars, because it's a pretty good shooter, and like I said, it's solid in the hand. So with that, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe down below. Check out my website if you have a chance. If you're interested in these bipods, I've got some of those there. You can pick those up. I've been getting some tremendous feedback by the improved accuracy that a lot of our fellow air gunners have been using these, and they've been telling me nothing but positive things about them. So with that, anyway, stay tuned for Airgun Detectives. Remember, this is where we take the mystery out of the air gun. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.